so I just registered for my exam, so now it's official, I can't go back. My testing window is from February 2nd to April 23rd, so my plan, of course, is to take these 3 tests by the end of February, but I do have until the end of April to actually take the test. That's looking really tempting, just to stress a little bit less, but I'm still going to push for February 27th, and I need to think a lot because I need to schedule these as soon as possible because the testing centers can get filled up quickly, the time slots, and so I need to really figure out when I want to take these tests and get my appointments scheduled so that I can hopefully, for example, ideally take all 3 on the same day, or just not miss out on days that would work for me. Another thing that I'd like to mention is that I was wrong when I said that testing out independently is only $150. It is $355 per nursing core exam, and I think I got the $150 from when I was taking other non-nursing core classes. So when I was taking prerequisites like sociology, I think that was way cheaper, and like psychology across the lifespan was way cheaper, but the nursing core classes are $355 each. So I just registered for 3 exams, and that put me at $1,065. So that's a little bit of extra pressure to get it done right the first time, because I don't want to have to retake and spend another $355. So today is day 18 in my Cramathon, and I am quite behind in my studying, like 12 hours behind in my studying, and I'm really trying, but I'm coming home every day after work and I'm just tired. And so yesterday I almost studied 3 hours, and then today I studied 2 hours so far, and it's already 10:44 p.m. so hopefully I really catch up during this next coming weekend, but it's only Tuesday today, so I have quite a few days until the weekend happens, so I don't know if I'm just going to fall farther behind during these weekdays before I get to Hush Beakies, before I get to the weekend, so I'm just tired. So I'm almost falling asleep here right now, and it is 10:45. I want to get in at least another half hour of studying in before I go to sleep, and so a trick that I have been using is that when my brain is trying to fall asleep, then I will activate it by either watching some funny videos on YouTube, and my interest in that and my laughter wakes me up. And then the other thing that I do is I'll take like a 10 or 15 minute TV break where I just let my brain relax and watch TV for that amount of time, and then by the time that's done, my brain is recharged, I've woken up a little bit, and then I can go back and put in another half hour or so, or longer. So this is where I am right now. Today is day 21 of my Cramathon, and you can see all the empty boxes. So what I did is I started, even when I was in one of these days, when I studied for an hour, I would start at the beginning and start filling boxes in from the beginning just to be more orderly. So you can see that those boxes have been filled up, but then there's a lot that have not been filled up, and I'm now on day 21 of my journey, and even these boxes aren't filled up because the hour that I studied today went over there in that pink box. So I have a ton of catching up to do if I want to stick with my 3 hours a day plan that I had. And luckily tomorrow is Saturday, so I have the weekend to really try to catch up, but it really is hard to motivate myself. So basically I've studied 14 hours in the last week, which is in my estimation a lot, but it's not enough, and it's not enough to catch up. So I have a lot of work to do. So I am way behind. I'm really haven't stayed on it really well. I come home and I'm tired, and I have been watching TV. Sometimes the prospect of coming home after basically working for 10 hours and also fighting the drive on the way home through the snow and the ice, which is just mentally exhausting, and then getting home and immediately plunging into studies is something that is so unthinkable or unpleasant of an idea that I just don't do it. And by the time it gets to like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I start to realize that my time is getting shorter and that I need to force myself to do it. So I usually, by about 9 p.m. or so, kick myself into gear and then study for 2 or 3 hours. So I'm going to sleep at midnight a lot these days for that reason, and that's also not very good. So I'm not sure if I'm still going to be able to take my tests at the end of the month. I still have quite a few days left until then, so if I really kick myself into gear, it's possible that I might still be able to take my test at the end of the month. My other option is I might be able to, or I can if I choose to, schedule my tests at the end of April if I really wanted to, so in almost 3 months, which would give me a lot more study time, but it would also conflict with my other 2 courses that I'm going to start basically at the beginning of March. So there's a few things to consider, but at least I have an option to delay my tests. Okay, so right now I'm cutting flashcards. So CRAM 101 has these flashcards that you can print out, and it has the question on one side and it has the answer on the other side, and what you're supposed to do is fold it and then ask yourself a question on one side and then see on the other side if you got it right. However, I really like to have my flashcards separate, so I'm cutting the flashcard rows. I'm cutting each flashcard separate from each other because I like to be able to separate my flashcard piles into what flashcards I'm having trouble with memorizing versus the ones that I really got down. So I have a pile of flashcards that I'll put the flashcard back into the pile that I'm working with if I still need to work on memorizing that. And if I have it memorized well, then I'll separate that flashcard and put it into a pile of flashcards that I feel like I don't need to go over again, at least not at that time. So I like that ability. I don't have that ability when it's in this format. So I'm cutting each column and or each row rather. So I'm thinking maybe I'll give some feedback to Study Group 101, let them know that it would be really great if they provided the ability to purchase flashcards, like a pack of flashcards with this information on it, so that we didn't have to do things like this. And so this is what I'm going to be doing for the next hour or so. Wow. Okay. Keep digging. Hey guys, it is 45 degrees out here, which is like tropical compared to the rest of the month, and everything is melting. So if you're quiet out here, you can hear everything melting and falling off the trees and falling off the roof and falling off of everything. Today is the 9th of February, and so that means that I still have a good couple weeks before my test. Yesterday I went on to the computer and spent about an hour making sure that I was scheduling everything just the way that I should, and I unfortunately couldn't get 3 tests all into one day. The schedule wouldn't permit that, so I had to do it 2 days back to back. So it's going to be the 23rd and 24th of February that I'm going to take my tests, and that really is only a few weeks away, so I have a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do. My goal for today is to go through my 3 textbooks and create what I'm calling diagnosis sheets for each diagnosis that I find in the books. So that's going to mean I'm going to put the diagnosis and the cause and the treatment and the nursing considerations for each thing, and I'll show you that as I go through it. But just because there's so many diagnoses to memorize, and just to make sure that I really have a good general picture of what each of those things is and the reasons for them, etc. And that's just a good base starting point. Although I've read the textbooks and I understood it when I went through it, that doesn't mean that I will remember it when a question is asked on the test. You're so good. You're so good, Skippy. You're so good boy. Yes, he is. He's so good boy. What's that? What's happening over there, Skippies? Lots of snow falling, huh? Lots of snow falling. Yes, it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so nice of you. Skippy, so cute. He's so cute boy. He's so cute boy. Yes. So cute boy. Yes. No jump. No jump. Good boy. So cute. Skippy. Skippy. You're adorable. You're so adorable. Yes, you are. Okay, I'm going to insert a text box. Simple. Bring it over here, and then I want it to be this color. I want a black outline, and I want to change the shape to this shape, and then just going to write in diagnosis in there. And I want to do something similar for symptoms and for nursing interventions. So I'm going to just copy this and get outside of it and paste it. And then I'm going to change the color to, still click on it to bring this up. So Just do shape fill and like that color, and I'll say symptoms, but then also I want in here somewhere what the cause is. So maybe I'll just say cause, and I want to make these Bradley hand too, because I like Bradley hand. You gotta make things a little bit more fun for yourself if you can, and let's make it a little bit bigger. And then I'll stretch this guy out. And then I want to leave enough space in here for the cause, and then there's symptoms, and then I'm going to do, oops, keep doing that. I'm going to do, this is going to be nursing interventions or considerations. I'll know that it's either or instead of having to type it out. And then I double click on it to bring this up, and I want to change the shape fill again, and then I want to put little text boxes in here because it'll be easier to type in the right place. So I'll just make it long so I can write lengthwise, and then in here I'm going to do the same thing. So copy, click out of it, paste, and then I'm going to make it a long one and bring it down there. And actually I think I want these to be, so double clicking on it, I'm going to make the shape outline more grayish so it's not as obtrusive. And then I'm going to change the shape to, I would like that also to be more circular, so I like that a lot better. So I'm going to do that to this one too. Color, shape, much better. And then I'm going to copy and then go outside of it and paste. And nursing interventions is going to be here. So what we're looking at is like that. So I think that's pretty cute. I might as well make these a lot bigger like that, so that symptoms and nursing interventions are much bigger lettering, and I'm gonna make them centered. And actually I want to put a space in here for description of the diagnosis, so I'm just going to go like that, and we'll do one more, and then copy, and then copy. Oh, maybe I can't do it. So copy and paste, put it up here, and copy, paste, we'll say description. Okay, that works. Alright, so I've created my template, and it has diagnosis. I added description in there so I can describe what the diagnosis is, and then the cause for it, symptoms, nursing interventions, and I added this box up here, which is mode of transmission. And then one mistake that I made is that I should have paged down. So far, this is as far down as I've hit enter to, so now every time I want to go down further, like say to the next page, I'm pushing those two boxes over there. So that just means I need to gather everything individually and move them to where they're supposed to be. Alright, so now that I moved everything over here and I have my cursor over here to the right, My hope is that I can now select all of this and paste it so I can have multiple pages that have the blank template just waiting for me. So I'm going to hit Control A, which is going to gather all of it, and then Control C for copy, come over here, Control V for paste, and yes, it does exactly what I hoped it would do. And now hopefully I can just keep hitting Control V, 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 and it'll, no, so it's coming down a bit, so that means I need to adjust things. So, but you get the point, that's how you do it. So all I have to do is go like that and modify what I have copied, and then what I've pasted will be just fine.